The fall of Great Moravia was not inevitable. In the heart of early medieval Central Europe, a vibrant Slavic power stood at the edge of true imperial destiny. It had fortresses, missionaries, warriors, trade routes, and a language of faith powerful enough to challenge the future. Image_shorts_1. A lone, early medieval Slavic figure seen from behind, standing on a misty hilltop overlooking a fortified Moravian hill fort at dawn. Emotional atmospheric vertical composition, 916, no readable text. Image_shorts_2. Two robed Slavic scholars walking away from camera toward an early stone monastery gate in a wooded Moravian valley, warm candle-like sunrise glow, vertical composition, 916, no readable text. Image_shorts_3. Extreme close-up of a polished bronze Moravian eagle artifact resting on dark wool cloth, intricate early medieval filigree, warm studio lighting, no readable inscription, vertical macro composition, 916. In our history, Great Moravia fractured under succession conflict, Frankish pressure, and the arrival of the Magyars. But in this alternate timeline, a world of speculation, not history, one question changes everything. What if Great Moravia never fell? Image_shorts_1. A silhouetted Moravian warrior on horseback seen from behind, overlooking a vast Central European plain under stormy golden clouds. Vertical cinematic composition, 916, no readable text. Image_shorts_2. Two figures in early medieval robes seen from behind, standing before a candlelit parchment map table with symbolic route lines only. Vertical composition, 916, no readable text. Image_shorts_3. Close-up macro shot of rough parchment, bronze compass ornament, and abstract amber route lines with no readable script. Warm candlelight, vertical macro composition, 916. Imagine a Central Europe where the Slavic world did not remain divided between German pressure from the west, steppe power from the east, and religious rivalry from beyond. Imagine a Moravian empire that endured, organized, expanded, and gave the region a different center of gravity. Image_shorts_1. A lone traveler seen from behind walking toward a bustling medieval Moravian city gate, timber ramparts and church towers beyond. Vertical composition, 916, no readable text. Image_shorts_2. Two Slavic nobles seen from behind on a wooden balcony overlooking a lively fortified market town, river valley beyond. Vertical composition, 916, no readable text. Image_shorts_3. Extreme close-up of a carved wooden double-cross motif on a shield beside chainmail and a round helmet. Warm directional light, no readable text. Vertical macro composition, 916. Great Moravia rose in the 9th century between the Danube, the Morava, and the Carpathian frontier. Under rulers such as Rastislav and Svatopluk I, it became more than a tribal kingdom. It became a political and spiritual project capable of resisting East Frankish influence. At its height, Great Moravia reached across much of Central Europe. Its influence touched Moravia, Slovakia, parts of Bohemia, Pannonia, and neighboring Slavic lands. Yet its power depended on a fragile balance: loyalty from nobles, control of frontier passes, and survival between greater powers. In our timeline, the death of Svatopluk I created a dangerous succession crisis. Rival heirs, ambitious nobles, and outside enemies pulled the kingdom apart. In this alternate timeline, Svatopluk sees the danger before his final days and forces a settlement that changes history. Before his death, Svatopluk binds his heirs through a great oath of unity. Mojmir II receives supreme authority, while rival claimants are given defined military and provincial roles. The arrangement is tense, but it prevents the immediate fracture that doomed Great Moravia in our history. The new settlement does not eliminate ambition, but it gives the kingdom time. Mojmir II strengthens royal courts, repairs frontier fortresses, and keeps the church network loyal to the center. Great Moravia begins to act less like a loose realm and more like a state. Then the Magyars arrive. Fast, mobile, and devastating, their horse archers reshape the balance of the Carpathian Basin. In our timeline, their pressure helped break Great Moravia. Here, Mojmir II prepares before panic becomes collapse. Moravia reforms its military. Heavy cavalry units are trained to anchor the battlefield, infantry shield walls guard river crossings, and frontier scouts learn to track steppe raiders before they vanish. The kingdom adapts because it must. The decisive test comes on the eastern frontier. Magyar raiders expect scattered resistance, but they meet prepared fortresses, coordinated cavalry, and blocked river crossings. The battle is brutal in consequence, but not in spectacle. For the first time, the storm from the east breaks against a Slavic shield. Victory does not destroy the Magyars, but it prevents their conquest of the Moravian core. Some Magyar groups move south and east, while others enter Moravian service as frontier cavalry. Instead of replacing Moravia, the steppe becomes part of its military system. The Frankish world reacts with alarm. A stronger Great Moravia blocks eastern ambitions, protects Slavic allies, and threatens the old assumption that Central Europe must bend westward. Diplomacy sharpens into pressure. Moravia responds by building a Slavic defensive league. Bohemian, Polanian, and Southern Slavic leaders are drawn into a pact of mutual defense and trade. It is not yet an empire, but it is a network, and every network can become a skeleton for power. Culture becomes strategy. The legacy of Cyril and Methodius is protected, and Slavic liturgy gains royal patronage instead of being pushed to the margins. A written sacred language gives Moravia a tool that swords alone could never provide: legitimacy. Monasteries, courts, and fortified towns begin to standardize law, taxation, and administration. Slavic nobles still argue, but they now argue inside a political order that can survive them. Great Moravia becomes a civilization with institutions, not just victories. By the middle of the 10th century, the balance of Central Europe has changed. East Frankish and Etonian rulers can no longer treat the Slavic East as a frontier waiting to be absorbed. Great Moravia is now too organized, too wealthy, and too dangerous to ignore. The pressure point is the Moravian Gate, the strategic corridor between the Carpathians and the Central European lowlands. Whoever controls it controls movement between west and east. The coming conflict will decide whether Moravia remains a kingdom or becomes an empire. The Frankish army advances with confidence. Heavy cavalry, armored retainers, bishops, and ambitious nobles march eastward, expecting to force Moravia back into submission. They do not yet understand that the corridor has been prepared for them. On the Moravian side, a fictional successor, Mojmir III, rises as the architect of resistance. He does not seek a reckless open-field clash. He builds layered defenses, hidden cavalry reserves, and fortified withdrawal points designed to turn Frankish strength against itself. Pause. The battle begins at dawn. Frankish knights push into the corridor, striking the Moravian infantry line with terrifying force. The shield wall bends, the valley shakes, and for a moment it seems that old Western power will still decide the fate of the East. But the Moravians do not break. Infantry units rotate behind layered shields, archers target horses from safe ground, and engineers collapse narrow sections of the path with timber barriers and trenches. The battlefield becomes a machine. Mojmir III waits until the Frankish army is stretched across the pass. Then he releases the hidden reserves, Moravian heavy cavalry and allied Slavic horsemen descending from the wooded slopes into the exposed flank. The counterattack is decisive. Mojmir III rides at the head of his elite cavalry, not as a lone hero, but as the visible point of a disciplined system. The Frankish advance falters, then buckles under pressure from front, flank, and terrain. By sunset, the Moravian Gate belongs to Moravia. The Frankish army retreats in disorder, leaving behind broken prestige and shattered assumptions. Central Europe has witnessed something new, a Slavic power capable of defeating the West on its own terms. The victory rewrites the map. Great Moravia is no longer a frontier kingdom squeezed between larger forces. It becomes the dominant power of Central Europe, while the Frankish world to the west is forced to negotiate, retreat, and rethink its future. After the victory, Mojmir III takes an imperial title in all but name. Moravia becomes the protector of Slavic Christianity, river trade, and the eastern marches. The double cross rises not as a local symbol, but as a sign of Central European sovereignty. Bohemia, the Polanian lands, and neighboring Slavic principalities are pulled into the Moravian orbit. Some retain local rulers, others become royal provinces. The empire is not uniform, but it is coordinated through oaths, roads, river tolls, monasteries, and military obligation. The Magyars do not vanish. Some remain beyond the frontier, while others become allies, soldiers, and border communities inside the Moravian system. The future kingdom of Hungary, as we know it, never forms in the same way. Over generations, Moravia grows rich. The Danube, Morava, Vistula, and Elbe corridors become arteries of trade. Salt, iron, furs, grain, horses, manuscripts, and metalwork move through fortified towns that answer to the imperial center. The Holy Roman Empire still emerges to the west, but it is smaller, more contested, and unable to dominate the Slavic East. German eastward expansion slows, and Central Europe develops around two great poles instead of one. In the 13th century, the Mongol storm reaches Europe, but it finds a different frontier. Instead of fragmented kingdoms reacting separately, the invaders face a fortified Moravian Carpathian defense network built from centuries of frontier warfare. The battles are devastating, but Moravia holds enough of the line to prevent total collapse. The empire becomes a shield for Central Europe, absorbing shock that in our timeline fell across divided realms. Culture deepens with survival. Slavic liturgy, manuscript schools, architecture, and law produce a civilization neither fully Latin West nor Byzantine East. Moravia becomes a bridge, and sometimes a rival, to both. The Reformation, the Renaissance, and later imperial politics unfold in a world where Central Europe is not defined primarily by German, Hungarian, or Habsburg power. Slavic institutions have centuries of continuity behind them. The identity of Europe changes. Czechs, Slovaks, Moravians, Poles, Sorbs, Croats, and other Slavic peoples develop within a shared imperial memory. Their differences remain, but they are no longer merely border peoples between larger empires. In the modern age, the Moravian capital becomes a living archive of continuity. Early churches beside universities, medieval ramparts beside civic halls, and river markets beside modern institutions. Central Europe's center of gravity lies farther east than in our world. So what if Great Moravia never fell? It would not simply mean one kingdom survived. It would mean a different Central Europe, one where Slavic statecraft, faith, law, and military power shaped the continent from the inside rather than from the margins. Every empire has a story history forgot. This has been Historic's Vault. More are coming. Subscribe so you do not miss the next one.